Hello. Hello. Para-pam, para-pam, para-pam. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning. Hello, hello. Hello. Today is holiday here in Italy. And so I can spend some time on doing some fixes before the next release, right? Definitely, yeah, why not? And I was working a bit this morning on the fixes to the dungeon generation. And I actually did some changes that I want to test, but I think it should work, right? Did I recompile? I think I recompiled. So I had to flag the lootable objects as lootable. So I have to set an additional specific flag, which is actually this one, right? Because I wanted to have more control on when you right click on it, if you get the loot icon, no icon, and such. And since all the interactable objects are pretty much working the same, I didn't have a chance to understand, which was which. And so now, with this additional flag, we are good. So I think we can launch it and see, do one more test, but I think it should be fine. I think it should be. I think it should be okay. Yup. I'm undecided what to do before release, right? So what else do we want to add? I was thinking that maybe one thing that could be nice is to actually have different monsters in the dungeon, so that because at the moment there are only two, and I think they are based on a setting that we have on the dungeon object. The dungeon object has a configuration that is called NPC. Wait a second, where is that? Dungeon, no, dungeon start. This one, right? Yes, this one. So this one I think is a bit limiting, right? Because it's randomizing between NPC, but I don't even know. Wait a second. Yeah, we're just randomizing, right? Randomizing between the available ones. We get a unique ID. We define the characteristics based on the mesh name. We get the scale. Yeah, at the moment we have the category are coded for each of the monsters pretty much. We have that. Okay. I think we need a better way, right? This loot category is then going where? Ah, it's going here. And the mesh name is that, yeah, it's going here. And then everything else is dynamic, which is very nice, by the way. Everything else is dynamic. Everything else is dynamic. Let me just see. Spawn actor, find character class. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, but here we are not loading any specific data. No. We're loading here. Yeah, so we need to have it. Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. So we are basically loading the default monster stats based on the mesh name. Yeah, which is okay. Which is okay. So if we change, what I'm saying is that if we change the NPC, right? So so one idea would be, let's create a function. Let's create a function. Oh, wow. Exactly, this one. So we need to change this part, basically. Right? So the loot category and the mesh name will have to be defined based on the difficulty scaled. So I think that we will pass in the difficulty scaled, and we will set up the name, the mesh name based on that. So it's similar to what we do here. And there can be some randomization. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly, right? Always the same, right? Do this. So I will create a new function that is called something like get get mesh name, right? And it will have actually to return two variables. One is the category and the other is the mesh name, right? So yeah, so let's call it Get NPC, I don't know if I want to call it get NPC type. But I think get NPC type, it's not really. Get NPC mesh. Get NPC mesh type, something like that. Get NPC mesh type, right? And it will have by difficulty, for sure. By difficulty. And as a result, right, it will have the loot category and the mesh name set, right? Yes. Now, for now, this will be kind of hard-coded, but I think it's fine. I mean, as long as, because these are NPC that we want to have, so create member function, create global function. Do you think the create member function is actually, yeah, it is. Nice. So basically it's defining the NPC that we will use, right? In short. And so now, the only question is how do we do it? I mean, our monsters are not changing very often, right? So I would say our monsters are always the same. So the only thing is the scale always going from 0 to 1, or yeah, it's always going from 0 to 1. But if I am at a very low difficulty, right? This way 5 is 1, so middle value not change. What do you mean 5 is 1? I mean, yes, 5 is 1, but 10 is then 2, right? 10 is then 2. So I will always have the maximum and in the middle. So basically from mid up, I will have a high difficulty. So if I go below 5, so I choose a difficulty 4. Yeah, but anyway, I think it's okay. I don't want to revisit this. I think is probably is not perfect, but it's okay. I mean, it's a very simple formula, but I think it's okay. So what we will do, we will get the NPC type by, yeah, exactly, mesh NPC type by difficulty, right? So here I'm thinking it's always from 0 to 1. right? So basically we have to distribute our monsters from 0 to 1. What is the best way to do that? Is to scale. Hello, Hula. Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Today is holiday here, and so I decided that I could stream, right? Why not? To see who is connecting on the afternoon of a weekday. Maybe we can reach, different audiences. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, how do we do this now? The best will be to take no, race info. Yeah, race info. The best would be to take race info, right? And inside race info, we can take all the monster. Do we have a table with kind of a monster strength? I think we do. I don't know exactly where is it, but I think we have it. But pretty much we can derive it from the stats. Because you can see that the stats are no, I think I had something specific on it. Monster strength. Exactly. Monster strength. Doesn't want to move it on the other window. Monster strength. You should have listed overall power. Yeah, overall power, because it's based on magic resistance and such, right? But I think I can have them in groups. It's actually not listed by overall power. One weapon. I'm looking at the other screen because I have this it's too much internal stuff to show you. It's too much secret stuff to show you. 22, 25. Yeah, I think we can use this list anyway. Even if it kind of restarts, I don't understand why it restarts. $59. Okay. So this is basically the list, right? From the less to the strongest. Now it's not exactly like this because within each block, right? There are different strengths. If it's magic, non-magic, magic resistance. I mean, it's a bit more complex than this, right? But this could, I think, there is a good enough list, right? It's a good enough list. And I'm thinking if we should group it maybe in 4 or 5 groups maximum, maybe 5 groups, right? So that if the difficulty, because we have a difficulty that goes from 0 to 1, right? It goes from 0 to 1. So we can do like from 0 to 0.2, and then from 0.2 to 4 and so on, right? So divided by 5. So if we can do 5 groups, I mean, we have a lot of them, but I don't think we're gonna use them all. Like, for example, I don't think I'm gonna use the rogue. I mean, the rogue, the gladiator, the cutthroat, the mercenary. I mean, these guys I think I'm not gonna use. Also the reaverling I'm not gonna use. The dark rogue I'm not gonna use. Gladiator, what is that I'm not gonna use? So all these ones basically we're not gonna use. Kikiri we're not gonna use. Yeah, so let me delete the stuff that we're not gonna use. Right, and then we can gobble. Also the gobble I'm not gonna use. Arangma I would say yes. Trapor I would say yes. Gobble I think makes no sense. So these two need to go. Marfusang I think is fine. I mean, it's a bit borderline, but consumer, I don't know. This is a very big monster. I mean, the problem is that it's long, so it may mess up with the. But yeah, potentially yes. We can keep him in. Reaverling, I would say no. I don't want any intelligent creature inside a dungeon, basically. Velnishi, yes. Grendel, yes. Gladiator, no. The Gorwell, I mean, we can. The Grendel 3, do we really have a Grendel 3? What? No, the Grendel 3 does not exist. We have the Toxic Grendel and the normal Grendel, but I think we are missing, no? If I remember right. Meanwhile, let me just do this test. Let me just do this test on the loot. Let me see how many. I mean, it's obviously possible that I have a bit too much stuff actually. I want to see if there is one without. There is a monster exactly on top of a trap. That's a bit weird actually. It should never happen in theory. Yeah, I should move it because it looks a bit stupid that it's actually sitting on top of a trap. Yeah, the second time it doesn't let you. So there is a case in which I did not find anything, even if it was possible to loot, and this one is not loot. Okay, I think it works actually. I think it works. It may be slightly confusing to you people, but it's okay. I think that, yeah, you may still not find anything because the loot rules have their own rules, right? So yeah. Okay. I think is okay. Which was the room with the... This one, right? That has the monster on top of the... Yeah, it's this one. So I think is room probably number 2. We can go and check it. But we should never have those two things in line. Otherwise it looks a bit stupid because the monster is in between, is on top of the trap, right? I mean, if you really want, we could release today. If we really want, we could release today. Because I have, I think I have done pretty much all I wanted. I just need to double check. I mean, we are missing the quest, but I can add the quest at any time, right? In Amnedale. So even with the client released, I can... Okay, let me see. Let me close all this stuff because we don't need it. I would say also the raid rooms, we don't need them. Dungeon, we need it. I think it's probably room number 4 or 1 or 4. Yes, this one. So if the trap is aligned, right, to the monster, is not a great idea. So the NPC should be or here or here. I think it's probably better here. Okay. Looking in this direction? Yeah, looking in this direction. Looking in this direction. Okay. Because the trap can be localized here if it's a, you know, a sphere of fire, or it can be as big as the wall. So it can reach the, I mean, it can reach the 2 walls, right? No more bugs to clean. I don't know if there is any. No, at the moment we don't have. We had 2 bugs. Also, I see that here the activity on the bug tracker is very, very low. The last bug submitted was more than a month ago. Well, it was a month ago. And there is not a lot of stuff here, actually. And there are still some. I mean, nothing critical, let's say. I can have a look again, but I think there are 2 bugs that were server crashes, and I fixed them, and it is also why I want to release, because I want to ensure that those bugs are released and are yeah, given to people. Okay. So what I was thinking is, if we have that list of monsters, right? Grendel, yes, I was looking at Grendel 3, right? Grendel 3, I don't think we have a Grendel 3. Grendel 3, Blueprint, NPC, Grendel character, no, that's fine, but wait, this was not the question. The question was if we have 3 variations. No, you see, we only have 2 variations. We have the base texture, and the toxic variation, right? So there are only 2. Okay, so this Grendel 3 does not exist. Then we have the Fire Carcass, the Ubernaut, the Mega Consumer, the Toxic Grendel. This we deleted. The Vilenaut, the Neutron Consumer, Marble, well, the Lava, I would say no. Right, so this is like the list. And I think we can... Very nice music, Diablo 4 music, huh? Diablo 4 music. Kyovashad. Oh, Kyovashad is a nice place. I remember somebody have said she can do the labyrinth quest. Yeah, the Menita puzzle is not working. It's not working because it was done in a very, very special way in the old game, which was using... It was using Crystal Space specific portal functionality. And we don't have that in Unreal, so we need to figure out how to redo that quest. At the moment, I don't know. I don't know how to redo it, but I will think about it. I will think about it. Because that quest was all about teleports and things like that, right? My idea would be... So we have how many? We have 40. We have 40. We have 40 different ones, right? So the idea is, do we divide it in 5 groups? And then we choose within a group, or do we want to dedicate we divide it in 5 groups, so we do 8 per group. So like this will be group 1. And then how do I merge? I cannot. So this one will be like group 1. And this would be group 2 and so on. And then what do we do? Then we random now, because I'm thinking if I want to randomize, if I want to use the group for the distance between the end room and the entrance, and then using the difficulty within the group to select, like for example, if you are very far away, right, from the exit, so you're basically at the entrance, you may randomize, you know, a low monster, but then we check the difficulty, and if the difficulty is high, we actually use the last of the group, right? Something like if it's greater than 5, you use the last 3. If it's not, you lose the previous one. Something like that. Or we can just randomize more broadly. Or we may decide to have it based on a theme, because actually the monsters are similar to each other, right? So like the Arangma, like can you have a dungeon with all Arangma, right? I think probably will be nicer to have, like, we have 4 types of Arangma. I think it would be nice if in a dungeon, you know, you have the majority instead of just having them scattered all over. The problem is that the Arangma is probably the only one where we have 4, because all the others we have maximum 3, and in some cases only 2. So you cannot really have a dungeon theme with 2, right? With 2 monsters only. Or within a group, we choose. Like for example, the Tloke warrior, the Tloke, there are 3, right? 1, 2, and 3. Arangma 4, Clacker 3, I think. Yeah, 3. So in theory, we could categorize them by type as well. I don't know. So like all the rats. Are we missing a rat or what? I see. Right, so this would be like type 1. There is like type 2. I think I like the idea of, you know, when you select a monster, you basically keep that monster. The problem is that if you have group 1, so you could randomize the type inside a group. You could randomize the type inside a group. Oh wow, we have 5 actually. We have 5 Arangma type. Holy moly. I think I would like to have it by theme so that it's not too dispersed, right? But like the quantity, we only have two types. We only have two instances. Which is kind of annoying. Here we have 3. Trapper, Trapper Warrior, Trapper Queen. Here we have a type 8. Ah, crap. The Gowert is a single thing. Yeah. It looks like. Unfortunately. And you see that certain types start only later on, right? Because they are stronger monsters. Like the Gorwell, for example, starts only at type 10, right? I think we really have enough anyway. Velnici only 2, huh? Velnici only 2. Also Grendel only 2, which is very annoying. Let me save this because I think I will reuse this thing. What? Yeah. So I think I will call it. I think I will call it Monster Strength for Dungeon, something like that. Monster Strength for Dungeon Generation. Okay. Hello, Shaifu. Or Shaif. Probably Shaif. Hello, Shaif. How are you? Okay, so we need to decide how to randomize the different monsters in the dungeon. My idea is to have 5 groups, right? To have 5 groups, and then within the group, the group is determined by the group is determined by the position. So we need to have a scaled difficulty, a scaled position to 0, 1, right? So I cannot get the difficulty scaled here. I will need the positioning path and the difficulty. With the positioning path, The positioning path is also from 0 to 1. Okay, that's very nice. But careful, because is the current level divided by the max path length? No, it's correct, it's correct. It's the position in the path considering the maximum one. Which is good, it's exactly what we need. Is exactly what we need. Yep. So this is already 0 to 1. Okay. Okay. So positioning path is already 0 to 1 and the difficulty is 0 to 10, but we can scale it, right? Because this difficulty is 0 to 10, I think. So we cannot really use it as is. I don't think difficulty is actually scaled. No, exactly. It is from 1 to 10. And loot quality is also from 1 to 10. So, okay. That is fine. Right. So we need to bring that to a difficulty scaled. Right, which will be just our difficulty divided by 10. This should result, since the division is by 10f, it will become okay. So I think I can. My idea is to decide the group. To decide a group based on the positioning path, right? So this will decide a group. And right? So the group will be basically positioning path divided by 5, right? positioning path divided by 5. And I think we will have to floor this. We will have to floor or we have to seal. Because the positioning path can be 1, right? And I want the group to start from 1, so in theory we have to seal it, right? We have to seal this. So if the positioning path is 1, right, if the positioning path divided by 5 is 0.2, no, sorry, that is wrong. That is very, 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 very wrong. No, wait a second. Positioning path not divided by 5, divided by 0.2, right? Because we go up to, positioning path is already from 0 to 1, right? So if I do what? No, I multiply by 5. Yeah, I multiply by 5, right? So 0.2 becomes 1. And then I seal it. But 0.21 becomes group 2. Because 0.21, right? 0.21 by 5 will be 1 point something. And then this will seal to 2, right? So this will be the second group. Yeah, exactly. So this will be the second group. So we have 5 groups. I think 5 groups is reasonable. We have 5 groups. These groups. And these are decided based on the position, right? Then after selecting this, within the group, right? Within the group, we use the difficulty. Now, the good thing is that we know that we have 8 per each we have 8 per each group, right? So that's very nice. Unfortunately, we don't have 10, but it's the same. Or we do difficulty, we don't have 10, right? We don't have 10. So or we do difficulty 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10. Maybe that's a good idea. Should we do it like this? For every group, right? So if the difficulty is 1, 2, we go here. If it's 3, we go here. If it's 4, we go here. And then what I would like to do is that when I selected one type, no, when I know the difficulty, yeah, the problem is that this is a bit too straightforward, because this means that if I have difficulty 4, I'm always getting the 4-star Angma, right? Like 100% of the time, and that's probably not a great idea. I still want some randomization, right? I still want some randomization. So probably we should not do it this way. We can probably divide this in 3 groups, in 3 subgroups, right? So there is a bit of randomization. That is what I'm trying to achieve. So if we divide it in 3 subgroups, right? So it is based on positioning path, and this will be based on difficulty. Do I want to have 3 groups? Well, we have 8, so 8 unfortunately is not dividable by 3. We can have 4 groups. We can have 4 groups. No, but because we have the difficulty from 1 to 10, so I need to group it by difficulty. So how do I match 8 and 10? 8 and 10, the only common denominator is 2. The only common denominator is 2. So the only thing I can do is 4 groups. So the randomization will be only between two types, right? Is that enough? I would say yes. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this way. So this will be 4 groups. No, 4 groups. Wait, 4 groups doesn't work because this one is divided by 10. What? Well, I can do 1, 2, 3. I can do 1 through 3, 4 and 5. Yeah, maybe that's the 6 and 7, and then 8, 9, and 10. I don't know. I think we can do it like this. So there is still a bit of randomization, right? So the difficulty, so if the difficulty is if the difficulty is less or equal to 3, right? I think we can do something like that, right? So if the difficulty is between if the difficulty is between between 4, if difficulty is between 4 and 5, right? I think this, the way it's written is super annoying. I don't like it. Okay, so the difficulty is 4 or 5, then the subgroup will be 2. By default is 1, right? And so on, right? So if it's 6 or 7, I don't know if I can do it with a division, but I don't think so, because whatever. Right. Then the only problem is that within the subgroup, this will be the problem. Because within the subgroup, I may not be able to select the same type of race. That's the issue. Because let's say that I select I select this group, right? I have a warrior and an Arangma, which is type 2. So I randomize between these two. Now this is kind of a lucky case because let's go with the Coamti. Yeah, exactly. So I randomize 6 and 7. And then I get this guy, right? Type 5. Unfortunately, type 5, there are only 2. So let's say that I get this Coamti, and then I go in the next group. And in the next group, unfortunately, there is no type 5, as you can see, right? So I will have to pick another type, which is still 6 and 7, but that will not be... So it's kind of unlikely that I will be able to get the same type if I do it this way. It's very unlikely, actually. Unless I put the same monsters in the same types, right? Which could be a good idea. So like, for example, Arangma is here, Arangma is here. But this is kind of an impossible puzzle. Because like Clacker is here, but then the next Clacker we find it here, and it's actually in 1, 2, 3, and it's not in 4, 5. Oh my god. I think it was a good idea, but it's a bit tough to... or we do only 2 groups, but 2 groups I think is a bit too little. If we do 2 subgroups only, right? If we do 2 subgroups only, then we have way more chances to organize the types so that in the next group at the same level of difficulty, I can have the same type, right? And if I don't find it, I will have any way to choose a different monster. Let me just check 1 second. I see a bit of pings here and there. Okay. Do you have any suggestion, guys, on how to do it? Do you have any suggestions? I mean, I can get rid of this and choose only on the type. No, but I don't like it. I think I want to feel the difference on difficulty based on this list, right? I really want to feel it within the group. So I think the group and subgroup is a good idea. But then I cannot match the type. So or we just give up on the type, and so we just pick what we get. So let's do an example, right? So if I am basing this on the difficulty, it is 6 and 7, right? I will pick something inside of this. So I will pick, for example, the Coamti. Then in the next group, 6 or 7, right, there would be this one, which is completely unrelated, right, to that. And then 6 and 7 again. And then 6 and 7 again, I will get this. Now, I can move the Coamti here. It's not a big deal, right? I can move this here and make it so that it's a bit higher. At the moment, this one is sitting at 1, 2, 3, but it's okay. I can move it up, right? Without too much trouble. I can move it up. And so at least we have a chance to get some consistency. Like the Arangma could be always 4 and 5. And the problem is that this is scaling up, so like here the Arangma is already wrong. For example, the trapper, right? If I pick the trapper, can I say that the trapper is always at the same level or not? So I can say that the trapper is always 4-5, and here the trapper is 4-5, and this queen we move it up, right, to 4-5 here. Even if we have to break, you know, the sequence, it will be more enjoyable, I think. The problem is that when you go up, there are certain monsters that don't exist anymore, right? So like the rats are finishing at this group. So you will not be able to pick a rat in group 3, right? You will have to select a different monster. But then from that monster, potentially... So let's say there is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, I get that rat. I get this rat. Yeah, I think I need to reorganize them this way. So at least... okay, let me try. So this is the original list, right? Let me try to redo it just by trying to match the subtypes with the monsters. So that, for example, right, the disease rat needs to go in 1, 2, 3 of this category here, right? So I have to move out or the clacker or the Arangma. Let's say that I move out, let's say that I move out the Arangma, right? Which was at this level. So now I put the rat in here. And this Arangma will have to go up once. So for example, here. Now we are boosting them quite a bit, but I think it's fine. So the trapper will be... It is a bit hard to read. I mean, can we color it so we can see it visually? Because at the moment it's super hard to see what I'm trying to see. Right? So like all the rats, yeah, like this rat, for example, is misplaced, right? Because the rat should be in subgroup 1, 2, 3, right? In this subgroup. So this rat should go roughly here, right? I don't know if what I'm doing is actually, but so rat, right? Rat is the first subgroup, first subgroup, right? Then we have, if you want, we can also put it at the first position, but it's about the same because it doesn't make a difference. Then we have the Tloki, right? And this one is also group 1. This one is also group 1. So these colors are horrible. Yes, and you see that here we already have, and here we have a problem because they are not, so this one really needs to move, right, in this position. So this one will move just for a sake of, okay, so they are at least they are the same, right? And then at this level we can do the same. We can have rat plus right? We can have rat plus clocky queen. So this way we finished rat, clocky, right? And they are all in the same group, and they are pretty much the same difficulty, right? Now 4 and 5 we can say Arangma, right? So we do forest, which is the minimum, frost, which is the next one. No, there is weaver before that. So in theory we have to move these two guys down one. And this weaver will go here, right? So this is our the problem is that of these guys we have like 5, so which I don't really like too much, meaning that this will go up significantly, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, there is another one here, Vesper. So basically means that I have to remove the Arangma from here. Forest, Waver, Frost. Yeah, exactly. So Frost will be 4, 5. Right? But this pattern will start to break when we reach the higher levels, because certain monsters will not exist anymore, right? So even if I want to put the Arangma, so basically, yeah, or we have 2 Arangma in the same, but I think that would be bad, or no? Nah, I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's too bad. No, I think it's okay. So 4 and 5, right? 4 and 5 we go... I don't know if the puzzle is solvable, because I think that I will reach a point where I don't have enough monsters left and they don't fit into the category in the proper way. But if we have a bit of variation, I think it's probably fine. So Forest, Waver, Frost, Vesper, and then Sand, right? Vesper and then Sand. So Sand needs to somehow go into the 4-5 here, and Vesper needs to go in the 4-5 here, right? So I need to pull out this guy, and I need to pull out this guy, which I don't know if I fully agree, but at least you know, you may have a dungeon that is all made of spiders, right? If you select this difficulty, you may have a dungeon that is all made of spiders, which I think it kind of makes sense. But it's impossible that you have a dungeon all made of Tloki, right? Because there are not enough, right? So you will have to change type. You will have to change type. So when he reaches, so from here to here, from group 3 to group 4, if we are in category 1, 2, 3, you will have to switch to something else. And actually, yeah, which I think exactly what is breaking the pattern, because like, okay, let's continue and see if it works, but I think it doesn't. I think it doesn't work. So type number 3, right? Type number 3, we have the clacker. The clacker, we only have 2 of them. Three of them. Three of them. So yes, I can pull out. Yes, I can pull out this guy, and I can pull in this guy, right? And this will be 4-5. This is 4-5, and this will be 4-5 as well, right? So you will have all the different clacker types in group number 3. But then we start to run short of monsters, right? Because in 5-6, I mean, yes, we have the Coamti, but what do we do then? I mean, we start to use the Trapor, so we downgrade the Trapor so much, and we put it here in 8 and 9. And in 6 and 7, so basically this one will be downgraded a lot from here to here, so like 5-6 positions. And then we will have the Trapor Warrior, which actually we have, which is still 6 and 7. Right. So Coamti, Trapor, and then 8 and 9 we don't have a monster, right? 8 and 9 we don't have a monster. So why we had Tefusangli twice? Ay. What happened? I don't know. But anyway, we could in theory have this as 8 and 9. And we could have... so this one we will save it for another day. And we could have this Tefusang as 8 and 9, right? But then what do we put here? I mean, in theory, we could also repeat the same names. We could say that 8, 9, and 10 is in 2 cases is Tefusangling. I mean, we just... but as I said, I would like to have a bit of randomization. And for example, the Gowert is always 1, so this guy is alone. Well, this guy is alone. I think it fits kind of well this position. And maybe 8 and 9 group 2. We can start to have a Karkaras. 8 and 9 group 2. We can start to have a Karkaras. But we definitely need to go Trapor Warrior, Trapor Queen, Tefusang, Marfusang, Tefusang, Marfusang. We only have 2. Oh fuck. That's a kind of a problem, but... Where is the... Where is the Karkaras? So this is the base Karkaras, okay. And it is the poison one, right? So poison one should be... Yeah, but I'm missing the Gorwell now. Did I delete one without pasting it? Oh, no, it doesn't exist. There is sapling, adult, and elder. So sapling is actually the smallest one. Okay. So 6 and 7 we can go with this guy. Trapper Queen needs to go in 6 and 7 like he's here, right? 6 and 7, 6 and 7, so 1, 2 and 3. And 8 and 9 we go with the Sang, Tefu and Marfu. And then the next 10, now here we cannot use the Karkaras in theory. Ah yes, we should, because we have the Karkaras here. So we use the poison for 10. Okay, this is all good for now, so it seems to work. Now what happens here though? That here I basically finish the monsters, right? So these monsters I finish them because there are no more, at this level, there are no more rats, there are no more Clocky, there are no more Arangma, yes, but there are no more Clacker, no more Coamti, no more Trapor, right? So I'm only left in these last 2 blocks with the very high level monsters. And at this point, I don't think I can group them anymore. Right? Because I have, okay, I have the consumer. Or consumer, how do you say this? Hello, Marcelo. I think we need more monsters. Yeah, we may need more monsters. Yeah, we have like 40 already, but yeah, I mean, more monster would be nice. Which one you put on Discord? I've seen it, but yeah, we discussed about those, Marcelo, if you remember, no? We discussed about those. We discussed about one that was in the desert, right? I think we discussed about those, yeah. Yeah, it would be nice to have more monsters, but we need someone to, you know, bring them to an end. So to do the design and to do the modeling and... at the moment I cannot work on monsters because it's not a high priority. Okay, so here we started with this consumer new thing, right? So of these guys, how many do we have? We have 1, 2, and 3, right? 1, 2, and 3. So, but we only have 2 groups left, right? We only have 2 groups left. So here we will start to see repetitions. So I have to be sure that they are appearing in 1, 2, 3, right? So I want, yeah, exactly. I want my Imago. Let's do this. I want my Imago in 1, 2, 3. And then I want my... So there is, you know, the same type between this and this. Then we still have the... Then we can start with the Velnishi maybe, right? So the Velnishi can be still in 1, 2, 3. And the Velnishi can also be in 1, 2, 3 here. So I have to pull out... No, wait. The Velnishi... I put here, right? So it's 1, 2, 3 as well. Then 4 and 5, we have 1 Arangma, which is good. And then I think we can have the Grendel and the Toxic Grendel. The Grendel and the Toxic Grendel. So I have to remove this Eldar guy. And we put in the Toxic Grendel, right? Then 6 and 7. 6 and 7... 6 and 7 we have the Gorwell. Yes, we should go also here in 6 and 7, which is good. But then we have a vacant space, and maybe the vacant space can be the first Ulbernaut, right? And then we have 8 and 9. 8 and 9 we have the Carcaras, which is fantastic. But then here we are kind of finishing the thing, so I think we will have to put this Elder, or we will have to downgrade. What can we downgrade? At this point it doesn't really matter anymore, because we are very high in difficulty and very high in groups, so I mean, I think it would be nice to have this Gorwell, since it exists, right, in the same type 6-7 here. So I think it would be nice to pull this out and put this in, right? So that is 6-7 like all his brothers above. And then we are left with this Vile Note, which we can probably put here in GG. And it's done, right? Because this puzzle at the end is not solvable, right? Because we don't have enough new types. Okay, so I think this was a good thing that we did. So basically now, I made a thread and generated some AI. I'm trying to see which one are most interesting. You made a thread on contributors. In the contributors thing, I think I've seen it actually. I think I've seen it. Or you made a thread in our discussion. I don't remember what it is, but I think I've seen it, Marcel. Okay, so now that we have this distribution, right? Now that we have this distribution, the subtype on difficulty I think is okay. So 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 6 and 7, or greater than 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. What? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 4 groups. No, we have 4. Wait. We have what? We have 4 subgroups. Yeah. 4 subgroups. Yeah, exactly. 4 subgroups. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 subgroups based on difficulty. So now we selected the group and we selected the subgroup, right? So we know that we are here and here, for example. So now the complexity is if we really want to select the type within this table, right? And where do we store this table? I mean, all are coded in C++ sounds a bit stupid, but at the same time, if I put in a database table, then I need to read the database and change it all the time. I don't know. I will have to return the mesh name. So in theory here we are missing the mesh name, GG. No! No! Do we have the mesh name here? We don't. We have the master ID, but... Fuck. No, we don't have it. Shit. We don't have it, so because we will have to return the mesh name, right, based on the type. So okay, so what do we do then? What do we do? Because I need this table somewhere, right? So I need a table that says if group is 1 and subgroup is 1, 2, 3, you can select these two lines, right? So basically it's group, subgroup, and so that the sequence is actually not this, but this, right? Right? So I choose group, subgroup, and then I choose between these two. That is the sequence. And this will result into a mesh name, right? Into a mesh name that we have to go and match with the actual table. So is there a way that we can add to this race info table the group and subgroup? Well, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. If I added two columns here with group and subgroup, I will then be able to do what? Well, I will have any way to load it into an array and then do the query. I don't know what is the best, more elegant implementation, because I mean the most straightforward implementation, right, is to say now based on group and subgroup, find the candidates, right? Find the candidates. So I would say, I don't know, I think we can switch on group maybe because it's an int anyway, right? So we can switch on group and hello, who joined? Hello, oligarch 1990, hey. Welcome, thank you for the follow. So we could say, if the case is 1, right, we check the subgroup, and the subgroup will be this, right? So if the subgroup is 1, right, then we can randomize 50-50. Well, we can probably randomize before that because it's always 50-50, right? It's always 2. We always have a choice of 2, right? So we can run Boolean, right, all the time. So if subgroup is 1, basically if subgroup is 1, we will have to say if is first, we return this mesh name, or whatever it is, right? If not, we return the other mesh name, right? So we have to do this for 41 lines. Or again, we put it in a table. And I will read, I can put it in this table and we can read the mesh name because the mesh name is actually already here. And I can just randomize, yeah, it's probably better, guys, than doing, because otherwise this thing will become like a laundry of if for 40 times. For 40 times. which is a bit ridiculous, right? Which is kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous, it is. So I could add, okay, let's do it. So I will add to this table, race info array, modified table. I think we can add it at the end. Yeah, we can add it at the end. We will add a new value, which is group. Now the other problem is the type, because okay, group and subgroup is easy, but then when I select one type, so probably I should do group, subgroup, and type. Because then when I select the subgroup, I define one type, and within that type, I think this thing can be useful also for other things. But I think this thing is kind of complex, huh? I mean, it's not complex, but it will take me some time to do all the implementation. Because type is basically the race, right? Right. And by the way, I should add this to our update schema. Updated race info to have group, subgroup, and type for dungeon generation. For dungeon generation, right? I don't think I need any description for the group and the subgroup. Okay, so okay, so now that we have this, right? Now that we have this, did I do it on the right database? Yeah, I did it on the right database. Okay, that's good. Now we basically have to set can I temporarily hide a column? Oh yes, I can. Okay, that's very nice. Oh, but I have to do it one by one. GG. Race, because race is not, wait a second, huh? Yeah, because I think we should do a race is not. We already have so many columns here. We have armor ID, weapon ID, helm, we don't really care at the moment. Bracer, we don't care. Belt, cloak. I was just wanted to check, is this race... yeah, it's all different for these guys, right? Yeah, it's all different. So we cannot really... cannot really base it on race, right? But basically now the point would be, if I add a group, subgroup, and type, right, based on what we have on this table, and then somehow I load them when the server starts. Hello, developer. Are you editing the database? Yeah, I think that, I mean, I don't want to have this infinite if, right? Infinite if statement and switch statement. It would be like 100 lines, right? I think is bad design, right? So even if it was the simplest, because I could just do subgroup 1, then return this, return that. I think is really a bad way of doing it. So I'm just putting it into the database, and based on this definition that we have, I will put it in the database. So one-eyed rat, right? So it is the subgroup, right? It is the subgroup. So it is 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 subgroups, right? Yeah, exactly. Let me save this because it's good to keep it. So I have to say one-eyed rat, right, is 1, 1, 1. Now this thing will not be very quick to do, but it's because I have to search them in this mess. One-eyed rat will be 1, 1, 1, right? One-eyed rat. Then cloaked drone will be 1, 1, 2. Holy shit. Cloaked, where the hell is that? Cloaked drone will be 1, 1, 2. Right? Forest Arangma will be 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, this thing is so weird. Forest Arangma. Forest. I don't see a forest. Forest, yeah. Is 1, what did we say? I already forgot. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, yes. Clacker is 1, 2, 4. Clacker is 1, 2, 4. Then coempty, the base coempty is 1, 3, 5. The base coempty is 1, 3, no, 3, 5. Oh my god, we have to do 40 of them. Holy shit. The trapper is 1, 3, 7. And hopefully they are correct, but basic trapper Basic trapor is 137. The Tefusangli is 146. The Tefusangling is the smallest of the Tefusang. Where is he? Oh shit. Yeah. I forgot already. Tefusangli is 146. 146. Then we have the Gowert that is 148. Ga. 148. And we can probably commit and filter all the ones that have group as null, right? So that we have less entries as we go, right? Yeah, that is a good idea, I think. Then we are in group 2. So diseased rat is 211. Diseased rat is 211. Then Cloque Warrior is 212. Cloque Warrior is 212. Weaver Rangma is 223. 223. This thing can be used also for other stuff in the future, because it's good to identify the group in terms of strength and the difficulty, so I think it's good anyway. So it's not just for the dungeons, we can reuse this thing. You load it when you start the server? Yes. How does this actually work on the database? How does this actually work? The database? What do you mean? I load it, so when the server starts, we have a class that is called Cache Manager, which is basically caching all the data in the database in memory, right? And then we ask to Cache Manager questions like, can you give us, you know, the group 2 monsters? And he's answering, right? So this is what we have to do. Yeah. So the Jade Clacker is 224. You will see it in a second. As soon as I finish this, we will do the code and everything. 224. 224. Then this guy is Mudober is 235. 2, 3, 5. Trapor Warrior 237. Trapor Warrior 2, 3, 7. Tefusang 246. Tefusang 246. I think we can commit and okay, so we get filtered list, so we have less. 246. Karkaras is 249. Karkaras is 249. I still have to understand if this is the right way, but I think it is, but we will have to test it a bit. So this rat is 311. 311. This queen is 312. 3, 1, 2. The frost is 3, 2, 3. The frost. The thunder is 3, 2, 4. Three, 2, 4. The sapling is 3, 3, 10. The sapling. Where is that? Cannot see it. No. Fuck. Cannot see it. It's here, but I cannot see it. I see. What? It is 3, 3, 10. Okay, 3, 3, 10. Let me commit so we have less lines. Okay. Trapper Queen is 3, 3, 7. Trapper Queen. Trapper Queen. Come on. Trapper Queen is here. Is what? 3, 3, 7. 3, 3, 7. This thing is painful. The Marfusang is 3, 4, 6. Marfusang 3, 4, 6. The poison Karkaras is 3, 4, 9. 3, 4, 9. Now we should go a bit quicker because we have less lines to look at. Consumer is 4, 1, 11. Consumer is 4, 1, 11. 4, 1, 11, I said? 4, 1, 11, yeah. The Velnishi is 4, 1, 12. The Velnishi is 4, 1, 12. It's like an Excel file you load in memory. Yeah, it's like a, yes. We will load an array or something, but yeah, we will load them in groups. I don't know yet what the structure will look like, but I think we will have, I don't know, I will think about it in a second. Velnish is 112, Vesper Arangma is 423. Vesper Arangma is 423. Okay. Basic Grendel is 4213. Basic Grendel is 4213. Yeah, it's 4213. Adult is 4310. 4310. Ulbernaut is 4314. 4314. And I think we will expand these guys more in the future. So the more monsters we will have, the better. I mean, this table will still work, right? So I think it's good that we put it in the database. Vilenaut is 4414. 4414. Fire Karkaras is 449. 449. I mean, it would have been simpler to do all the if, but I think that is nicer. Imago 5111. Imago 51 what? 5111. 5, 1, 8. We are nearly there, eh? We are nearly there. We're nearly there. Fayetteville, Nishi, 5, 1, 12. 5, 1, 12. 5, 1, 12. Will be nice to have an additional texture of the ones that we are missing. Because some of these monsters only have 2 variations. It would be very nice to have 3 variations. Sand Arangma is 5, 2, 3. 5, 2, 3. Toxic Grendel is 5, 2, 13. Toxic 5, 2, 13. Okay, we are nearly done. Elder is 5, 3, 10. 5, 3, 10. This Newton is 5, 3, 11. 5, 3, 11. Last 2. Maul Burnout is 5, 4, 14. Maul Burnout. 5, what? 5, 4, 14. 5, 4, 14. Yes, and Maulberlord is 5, 4. No. Ah, yes, he's also 5, 4, 14. So these two are in the same group. Just because we didn't have enough space. 5, 4, 14. Okay, we did them all. So all the others are stuff that we don't want to have in the randomization, right? And it seems correct because I see the names and none of these ones I want to have in the randomization. Okay. Okay, good. So now that we have this, now that we have this, we have to load it, right? So we will have to load it somehow. It is not valid anymore. So we will have to load it. So our guy for this kind of things is Cache Manager, right? Cache Manager is the one that is already loading the races. So this guy already knows how to load our stuff. So there should be definitely a preload race info somewhere. Yes, preload race info. He's selecting star from that table, right? Which was already existing. So what do we need to add? We need to add in the load. Now we need to think if we want to load that information inside the race info structure, or if you want a separate structure that by group, by ID, because the query that we will do, right, is group and subgroup. So I will ask, can you give me the monsters inside group 1, subgroup 1, right? Exactly. Exactly. So we could do a trick, right? We could have a T map with like 11, 12, 13, 14, right? And then we just ask for 11 and we get out of the T map this, which should include the mesh name should be a small structure including the mesh name and the type. So if I have a T map, right? If I have a T map of int, and then I have a structure inside of that which is my monster type, something like that, right? Monster type, and the monster type will contain what? Will contain the mesh ID and the type. So yeah, this will be like mesh by ID, mesh by type. I think you can actually have. Oh fuck, we had the editor open, so he did. No! He did the hot reload. No! Fine. We can delete that. Seems he didn't do it though, right? Did he do it? I didn't do it. No, because there was an error. Okay, fantastic. I'm trying to understand the type of data structure that we need, right? So our question will be, give me all the monsters inside a specific group and subgroup. So the monster type could be the monster type could be just the mesh name and then the type and then the type, right? And this will be associated to the subgroup, group and subgroup. But then I will have another question, because when I will try to find is this monster the same type, I will ask the same question, and then I will say, please give me a monster of this type, if possible. Yeah, so I will have a current type, and I will say, please give me a monster of this type, and he will look at this. Yeah, I think it works. I think it works. Yeah, it works. I think it works. So yeah, so it's very simple. So we need where do we put it? We put it inside race info. We put it inside race info. Yeah, I mean we can put it here. Structure used for dungeon generation. Let's say to retrieve the monsters based on group subgroup, right? I can say see this file, right? I can see this file. Hopefully I will have it in 10 years from now. Okay, so this will be a simple structure, right? I don't think we have to expose it to anything, like to blueprints or whatever. So this will be a simple structure that we will call monster type. Hopefully we don't have a monster type yet, right? So, and this one will have just an F string, which is the mesh name. I don't know if I want to point. Do I want to point to the actual race info or not? Yeah, probably yes. I think it's much better. If from this structure I could point to the race info, I think it's much better, because we have yeah, let's do this. Because then we can retrieve whatever we want of the race, including the mesh name, right? And then we will have an int, which is actually the type, which by default is 0. And the type we have one for each monster type. Example, all trapper share the same type, right? And this is the pointer to the race info, right? Okay, so then okay, fine. So then inside inside cache manager, where do we store the race info? Wait. Where do we store race info list, right? Race info list. Right. So here we will have a T map, right, of whatever int and monster type, right? Where we will call monsters by group, right? The key is a combination of group and subgroup, right? Example, group 1 subgroup 1 equal to 11. I know, which is a bit weird, but okay. But it is the quickest. It's definitely the quickest to read, the quickest to read, right? So so when we load the race for each race, right? Please, guys, always put comments in your code. Always put comments in your code. I cannot say it enough, right? I cannot say it enough. Please. It's an int. No, because I'm going to do a trick. I'm concatenating the two, which is a bit weird, but I know. I'm doing so the T map can directly access, right? So it's much faster. Anyway, it's like 40 data, so it's pointless too. But still, I like to do things in a way that they are, you know, more efficient. But yeah, it would be the same, I guess. So so when we load this, we will add the the group subgroup info, right? So we do what? I don't know what to do. We create our key, which is our group key, right? And the group key will be something very ugly, I tell you already. It will look ugly, okay? It will look ugly. It will be wait a second, because the race info is not, this load is actually not giving me, because this load is not loading it, huh? So I have to do it will be ugly, I tell you. No, I deleted. Yeah, it will be this. Will be this shit. Okay, I can wait. I can put in 2 lines. Group subgroup, right? And here, okay. What? What is the part you don't like? Okay, that part. Okay, so we will have a group key, right? So we'll have a group key, and so now we can just insert into this our group key. Hello, Fabio. Hey. Hello, YouTube. We have some viewers on YouTube, not too many, but we have some. Like developer is looking from YouTube. Is watching from YouTube. Yeah, we have a few. I think it's a bit of a strange time that I'm streaming today, just because in Italy it's holiday. But usually I'm not live at this time. I usually live after dinner. But I wanted to stream because today is a holiday, so yeah. So we put the group key, and then we put what? And then we put the race info, right? So we have all the information. We have all the information there, including I know, stupid me. No, wait, sorry. Beep. So we have to create a monster type, right? So we would do a new monster type. Monster type will be M type, whatever. Will be monster type of monster type will be with race info, and which is yeah, will be a pointer to that, and an int type, right? Right, and this will be race info, and type, right? What? I don't know what I pressed, but anyway, fine. So new race info and type, where type is actually this with getInt. I don't know if you can get a string even if the type is not a string, but we will see. We will see it in a second. Okay, and then I'm going to put this M type here, right? Okay, let's see if it compiles. Let me just remove a second, because this is actually not useful anymore. At least not for now, because we will have to read it. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to have pretty much this table, right? This table inside a database, which is organizing our monsters by group, subgroup, and type, right? And this is what I want to use when we generate the dungeon, because just to explain you a second, because I left you in darkness for quite some time. No, the white color. So when we generate a dungeon, right, which is randomly generated, we may have different type of rooms and such, and fuck it. And I don't know, this is the entrance, right? So this is the exit and this is the entrance, right? And we determine, so the game knows that this is the first room, this is the second room, this is the third room, the fourth room, the fifth room, right? And so it can actually distribute the monsters with specific difficulty, where here is higher difficulty and here is lower difficulty, right? Because this is the beginning, this is the end. And so what I'm trying to do is that on top of the difficulty, but the Excel file is not used by the engine. No. I just put it in the table. Not only we determine the difficulty by the position in the dungeon, but now we can also determine the race, right? So if you are at 5, right, depending on the difficulty of the dungeon, right, which you will basically be here, we will select one of these guys, right, based on the difficulty. So if you are at the last, but you are in 1, 2, 3, it will be this guy, right? And now, yeah, so I think yeah, exactly. Now, this method is only one problem that I'm thinking about it now. This problem is this method has the problem that if I use the group, but it's up to me, right? It's up to me. It's up to me to decide to use group 5 or not to use group 5. So I could decide that when I have very low difficulty, I use only group 1 and group 2, right? Then I could decide to do it. Or I can randomize up to 5, right? Yeah. Yeah, this one will have to get the positioning path and the difficulty, right? The positioning path and the difficulty. So whatever reason they are not the same. Positioning path. Why we did it differently? Positioning path. Oh, that's fine. Positioning path. Difficulty. This one we did differently. I don't know why. Okay. But it is a big inefficiency. You could maybe just load it directly from the Excel file. No, because no, I don't need to load the Excel file in any way. I mean, our definition now is directly in the database, right? So I can delete the Excel file. I don't need the Excel file anymore. Our definition is here. Now the Excel file is a bit more readable, but you can extract. I mean, I can recreate the Excel file, right? In a query now. So if I query this table and I just order it by group, then subgroup, and then type, you get exactly this result, right? So I don't need the Excel file anymore for anything. The Excel file is just for me to visually understand what I'm doing, and just to reason on the problem. I mean, it was useful to decide a strategy on how to attack the problem, but but then all the data is always in the database. Okay, so it seems that he compiled. So what we want to see, we want to see if Cache Manager, when we arrive here, is actually loading this data properly, right? I don't know if there is an easy way to add the two numbers. Yes, I multiply the first one by 10 and then it's done. Yeah, so probably it's easier to do it that way. Okay, let me do it that way, which I like it more. So actually we could just do this, right? We could, so I don't have, yeah, exactly. So I just get int, because these are integers actually. And then I do this int multiply by 10 and then plus the other one, right? And this is already our group key without going in any, yeah, stupid me. Assuming that I can do it, but I should be able to do it. So we do group the first digit, subgroup the second digit. I think David said Diablo 1 or Diablo 2 or both loaded the game data like items, data, and monster stats from Excel file because it was easier for letting one and team edit. Yeah, that I may understand, but mainly when you have a lot of complex logic, I think Excel is pretty cool. But I mean, loading from Excel or querying Excel is not a great idea because when you have to then extract information, right? I mean, you can still load it in memory and then query memory. I mean, it's the same. But it's a bit easier to dump a database, right, and move it to production than move a bunch of Excel files and I mean, for backups, for cross queries, for I don't know if there is any website that needs to use the database data. Right, so it's much better to have it in the database. So much better, so much faster, so much maintainable. So I mean, there are so many positives, right? Okay, so our server is loading data. Let's see what happens. So the first group key we are expecting is 11. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, because this one, yeah, so if the group key is 0, means that this race does not have a group, right? And so we need to exclude it, obviously. So we have to say that only if group key is greater than 0, we actually do this. Otherwise, we don't. Right? Exactly. Because there are a lot of races that are not selectable, right? And so I see you have an actual database. I never use the database for anything. They was asking initially how it works. Yeah, I think I have a diagram with, let me see if I have a diagram with our architecture. Not sure I have it. Star architecture star. PS architecture ODP. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Plane shift architecture. How old is this file? This file is, because I think I updated it. Plane shift architecture. Wait a second, was updated in end of 23. So yeah. So it should be new somehow. Okay, if you want to know how it works, it works like this. If you want to take a screenshot of this, is no problem. So at the bottom, starting from the bottom, right, we have a database, which is a MySQL database. And the MySQL database is accessed with a MariaDB connector, right, which is basically the standard connector for MySQL. Then this connector is a C++ connector, and we use it in a class that is our uSQL wrapper, right? So this is a C++ class of PlaneShift, right? So maybe I should say that. So that is a C++, right? And the DB connector, I don't remember if it's C or C++, because the connector I think is very, 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 very simple. I think it's probably C. Is under plugins. No, it's under depend. It's nowhere here. It's under third party actually. It's under third party. Yeah. MariaDB connector is this guy, right? Windows, whatever. Client. Yeah, it's a C extension. Yeah, it's a C. It's done in C. So there is a C, not C++, right? C language. I don't know how to say. Is a C library. And yeah, through this connector. So, and this is I mean, this is a bit too simplistic, because in reality it's more complex than this. But let me say that if you want to keep it that simple, on the database, I will have to make it a bit more complex than this, because actually on the database, obviously we have all our schema, right? So here there is, inside the database, there are all our specific PlaneShift tables. I don't know how to represent it exactly, but the database is made of two pieces, right? It's made of the MySQL database plus all the PlaneShift specific DB tables, right? Which are the one that you just saw a second ago, right? I would like this to be a piece of the database, but it doesn't seem that I can find an easy... Okay, anyway, you understand it, right? So it's... Now this arrow will never work again. I know. Fuck. Why I cannot move it? Okay. This white arrow with white background is a super bad idea. It's like one of the worst ideas I ever had. What is that? No! Please. I just need an arrow. Please. Thank you. Can we have these arrows of a different color or not? Because that color is super bad. No? No. Color. Where is the color in this thing? Field color. No, field color it doesn't like. Line color. Line color. Okay. Well, still shit, but a bit better. So You can also update the database without affecting the download release. Yes. Is the paper PowerPoint for the summer of code? No, that was like millions years ago. But anyway, we have the MariaDB connector, right? So then we have a SQL wrapper, which is actually a PlaneShift class. So from here up is all PlaneShift class. Now the dedicated server is actually split in two pieces. There is obviously the Unreal Engine side of it, and then these are our classes. We have this cache manager, right? The cache manager is the one that I just showed you before, the class, right, which is preloading everything, caching all the objects. Then vertically, we have a number of managers like the chat manager, the combat manager, the quest manager, you know, and many, many more. And these managers are accessing the cache manager for information. Let me add also, I don't know, the quest manager, because I think is a good example. Quest manager. So chat manager, combat manager, quest manager, etc., etc., etc. We have like 20 plus managers. And then in terms of connection with the client, right? So this is all running on the server side. All this block is server side, right? So maybe I should do, so server side is obviously on one separate machine. Sorry, I'm not very fluid with this LibreOffice thingy, but so all this is server side, right? And server side, and this is client side. It will never fit. Okay, it will never fit. Yeah, it will never freaking fit. Can I rotate the text? How do I rotate the text? Indent spacing. Position and sides, rotation, 90 degrees. Yeah. $90. No, that would have been too easy. Okay, so pretty much that is. So we improved a bit this slide. So we improve it every time. We improve it a bit. So we improved it a bit more today, which is nice. So the next guy that asks about it, you know, we have a better. Oh my god, these colors are terrible. No! What color can we put that is like reasonable? Okay, this one. Okay, this one maybe. Okay, that's server side, is client side, right? So this is running all on one machine at the moment, the part at the bottom, but obviously you could split the database to a separate machine. So you could have one server for the database, one server for the dedicated server, and then obviously the client is what you right? Yeah, you're very welcome for the question. You know, I'm streaming also to interact with you, and it's fine. I mean, we yeah, it's good. I like to explain a bit the architecture and what we do, right? Okay, let's see if we get our group key now. So the group key here is 0, so we skip it. Then we will find another one, and another one, another one, and then at a certain point we will enter here, hopefully. Yes, and here we enter with a group key of 12. Group key of 12, we have our monster type, which is Race 24, let me see if it's correct. Race 24 is exactly 12, fantastic. And the M type is 4. Okay, good. So we load all of this. So now we have basically that information into a structure, right? The cache manager can actually answer to. And so now from our dungeon generation, here, right, instead of the infinite if statement, which would have been insane, we can ask, right, cache manager to give us I think we also need the current type. Yes, we need a current type. Where do we put it? Wait a second. Where do we put the current type? The current type. Is this all protected stuff? No, this is all public. I can put it here. I mean, it's not the best to put it here, but current type is used by get mesh type by difficulty to keep the same type, to keep the same monster type during the generation, right? During the generation. So that is pretty much why. So we call it temp current type. I call it temp because it's current monster type. Right? And it starts with 0. Okay, we start with 0, so that when we generate, we check. Okay, so we can ask a cache manager now, because cache manager knows, right? But I think we will create a function on cache manager which is actually returning this monster by group, right? So we will have a function called we will have a function, just thinking where the hell we should put it, but I think it's here. We can put it here probably. Cache, we can probably put it here. So this will return, right? Returns a monster based on requested group and subgroup, if possible keeping the same type, right? So this will be called get monster type by group, get monster type by group, and it will return a monster type, right? And here I will have the group, I will have the subgroup, and I will have the current type, right? The current type, right? So that is my thingy. Has it always worked with the database? With simple? No, it was always with the database. We started with a database because in an MMO, right, you have a lot of data, right? So if you want to see a bit of what we have in the database, right? It is a copy of the real database, right? So if I do select count, right? Select count from item instances, for example. This is the biggest table I think that we have, right? select count from item instances. We have at the moment 1,889,068 items in the game, right? That are on the ground or inside the player's inventory or inside the NPC inventory or somewhere else, right? But we have 1.8 million items that we have to load. Well, we don't load them all, obviously. Like if you are a player and you're not playing, right? I'm not going to load your inventory when the server starts, right? I'm loading the inventory only when you log in. But right, so that is an example. So imagine, you know, so we need a database. So we need a database, right, to manage all of that. And I need a database to do all the potential query, right? Because I may want to say, oh, I want only the ones, right, that are on the ground, right? So I can say where character owner, right, where character owner is null, right? So there is no owner of those items, right? Maybe is null is not a good idea. Where character owner is equal to 0. Maybe it's never null. Okay. So there are 41,000 of those 1 million which are actually on the ground. Databases is sort of your specialty. No, but I mean, I've been working with databases quite a bit. And my name is Luca with a C. With a C, not with a K. Like this. But yeah, I think I know databases quite a bit. I've been working with databases a lot. I've been working with databases quite a bit. Okay, so get monster type by group. So basically based on this, right? And now here is the trick, right? Because we know that we can get the group key very simply, right, by doing group multiplied by 10 plus our subgroup, right? And that is the group key, and then we can get our how do we call it, monster type by group, right? We can just do a find by group key, right? And this will return oh fuck, wait a second, I did a big mistake. I did a big mistake. Yeah, I mean, not a big, but yeah, I mean, obviously, like, this is not working at the moment, but I mean, it needs to be an array. So you are, at the end, probably you were right when you said int array. I mean, it was not the int array, but it was the monster type array, because we have multiple monster type by subgroup, right? So this needs to be a T array of monster type, right? Otherwise, we never freaking work, right? And so this means that when we add right, so we need to find, first of all, by group key, right? And this will return a T array of monster type, right? temp monsters, right? And then if this one, if this one is already containing some items, right? If this one is already containing some items, then we will just have to add to this guy, right? And we'll have to add what? We will add a new monster type, right? We will add a new monster type. If it's not, right? If it's not, then we will just have our monster type. If it's not, we will have to create a new array, right? So we will have to do temp monster equal to new array of this, right? Well, not new, but this, right? And then, so we'll initialize it as empty. And then we will, yes, we will add M type again, right? Because I think that this is returning null, I guess. I mean, it's not a pointer, so no, I cannot return null. Okay, so you mean that I can always just add? Yeah, probably yes. Can I just add no matter what? I think I can, yeah. Because this will return an empty if it's not present, so... And then I will add... right? Okay, like this now it is better because this can return multiple, right? This can return multiple monster type, right? Found monsters, right? Do you work with it in your daily job? I've been working with databases when I was a bit younger, yes. In my job as well, yeah. All the solutions, I mean, usually all the enterprise solutions, you know, company, I mean, that you sell to companies and such are based on databases. So yes, I've been working with Oracle. I've been working with, well, I would say with Oracle mostly, and with SQL, with Microsoft SQL, long time ago, but anyway, my job. And I've been working with MySQL and Postgres. I've been using also a bit of Postgres, but very little. Anyway, some Postgres in my hobbies, let's say, meaning plane shift. So yeah, I had some professional exposure to it, but not really as an expert. But yeah, I've been working with database experts in the past, right? So like for performance tuning and all of that, indexing, and yeah. So I have all the basic concepts, you know, like database locks and tables and keys and whatever, and constraints and whatever. Yeah, so I have that knowledge, yeah. But I'm not an expert anyway. Okay, so now within the found monsters, I think that we can. The nice thing would be if the current type is greater than 0. So if the current type is actually valid, right? We would like to extract from the database, I mean from these found monsters, one with the same type, right? That means that in the example of this thing, if this is a spider, right, and we pass the spider type, we will probably have also another spider here, but maybe of a different level, right? So this is why I'm doing this type thingy. So do we want to randomize, or do we want, I think we should randomize. So if the current type is greater than 0, I think we so if we have a type specified, search 1, right? Otherwise we just randomize, right? Right, in the first run, if in the first run we will randomize 100%, right? So the randomize will be simple because we will just randomize between. We will have to do a rand range, right? Between 0 and the array sides, right? And the array sides -1, I guess. Right, and the array size -1, and right, and this choose and so we will return. We will just return, you know, found monsters of the chosen index, right? Nice. This thing is not a pointer. Yeah, nothing of this is a pointer actually. It's fine. We don't need a point. We don't need. Yeah. Do we need a pointer? Nah. I mean, the data is so simple. It's like, also we have like 40 lines in that Excel table, so data is so simple. I think we don't care at all about, you know, that. So okay, so if he's not specified, we just choose a random one. If he's specified, right? The first question we should ask ourselves is, do we have this type in the array, right? The answer may be no, right? So we will basically have to for each, right? We will basically have to for each, to for, where yeah, exactly. With my monster type, found monsters, fantastic. And we will have to check if, you know, found monster of type is equal to the current type, right? If the current monster blah 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 current type, then we are happy and we just return the found monster, because it means that we got the monster that we want, right? Unfortunately, if we are here, it means that we didn't find it, right? So if we didn't find it, then we can just randomize again. So yeah. So basically, right? No. So we randomize in both cases. We randomize if we don't find one, and we randomize if we don't ask for a type, right? So we go here, found, then return it, right? If we are here, we didn't find it, and so we randomize. Right? Throw an error and crash the server. This is like an exit one, you know, so like boom, GG. Now there may be the case that also this randomization is 0. I mean, obviously this requires, you know, to find at least one monster, right? if the subgroup doesn't have any monsters, we are in trouble, like you were saying, right? We require at least one monster per subgroup, right? So if so basically, if we arrive here and found monsters is empty, we have a big problem. We have a big problem, right? Because we cannot generate a monster. And so in this case, I don't know, or we generate a, or we just give a random one, but we cannot. We just select a random race. I don't know. I mean, here is a critical error, right? So here we are really in trouble, right? Here we are really in trouble. Because means that our database is not defined correctly, right? So we can say couldn't find any monster for group and subgroup, right? This should never happen, right? This should never happen. In theory, it should never happen, but you know. So in this case, we can return an empty. So I don't know what to do, because we can return an empty monster type, but cannot, right? Cannot even. So we can return whatever, an empty monster type where the race info is null and the type is 0, but is a critical issue. Okay, so I think we pretty much have this function done. I think we are close. We are close to see something. We are very close to see something. So now when I generate my NPC, get NPC type by difficulty. Yeah, so basically here, now cache manager, we can ask a cache manager on that function, right? You can always return 0, yeah. You can say GG, just destroy everything. So we have to ask for the group, we have to ask for the subgroup, and we have to pass the temporary current monster type, right? We will also have to set it, by the way. We will also have to set it, yes. Member is inaccessible. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Okay, now it's accessible. And this will return a monster type, right? This will return a monster type. And the monster type, we have to use it. Get NPC mesh by difficulty. Yeah. So we basically have to return the loot category, which actually we have it, because monster type we can access the race info, and the race info has the loot. The race info should have the loot. Oh fuck. No? What do you mean? No! Because it's the spawn that has the loot. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, but we can return the mesh, right? We can return the... Yeah, this is a problem. Because the loot is actually in another place. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, because the loot... No, but the loot. Wait a second. The loot. No, the loot needs to be returned. Yeah, needs to be returned. The loot needs to be returned as well. Yeah. Okay, so we have to do that as well somehow. But monster, we definitely have the type, which is, and here we have the mesh name, right? So the mesh name we can return. It should be easy enough. Why it doesn't like it? Huh? No viable operator matches the argument of type because it's const. But what do you mean const? Who decided that this is const? It cannot be const. It's passed by reference. We have to fill it in. Okay, the loot category. The loot category is actually sitting on... that's not very easy. It's sitting on spawn location. Yeah, it's sitting on spawn. I can just pass it as a default now, and we change it later. So we see if it works up to here, because actually... It's not on race info, right? It's on the actual character ID. It's on the actual character ID. Yeah, but wait a second. Because if we have the mesh name, right? Wait. If we have the mesh name, and then here we find the mesh by... Because Cache Manager knows. Let me see 1 second. Let me see 1 second. No, load dynamic. Because this guy knows. Loot. No, but Master NPC, right? Cache definition ID. NPC ID. PC ID. No, we don't know. Okay, let me set it as a default for now. But we have to fix that, because there is not, otherwise it will be a problem. Otherwise it will be a problem. Yes. Because yeah, because you see the loot category ID is actually here. The loot category ID is actually here. I think it's pretty stupid that we don't have a default loot category, but fine. I mean, fine. 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 But why I was using 34 and 24 or whatever? 24 or 34. Why am I using... Okay, fine. Fine. We need to do something more for the loot, but I will do it later. Otherwise, we will never see anything. I want to see something now. I want to see something. I want to see something. So loot category will be 3 for now. Will be 3 for now. Okay, let's see if this works. You can return a default monster type. No, I begin. You were on the previous one. Yeah, on the previous one. No, we return an empty. I don't know, a default. Yeah, we can also return the default there, but default. I don't know what is default, right? I mean, we can actually. We can return here a default, yeah. But it should never happen, eh? Should never happen. I think I prefer to... No, I think I prefer to return in null. You know why? Because if I return in null, it will crash the server, and I will realize that this is wrong. Because this means that we are missing data in the database. So it's better if it crashes. Because we should fix the data. Right? Because in theory it should never happen. It happens only if we missed some data. Okay, so now in theory we should see something. Because, well, we will see if this runs properly. But when we generate the dungeon, yeah, when we generate the dungeon, difficulty, that's okay. So the breakpoint, I think the breakpoint we want it like here, right? So after the subgroups, we want to see if this is actually, what is this is actually generating, right? And they should never return empty. And we can have a pretty big dungeon, I mean, with like 20 rooms or so, and we can check if we get different meshes, right? But I think we will. I really wanted to do this, but I was like, it will take me so much that I don't. But I think it didn't take too much. No, it's not working yet, but I think it didn't take too much. I think it took like 2-3 hours. I think it's 3 hours. I think it's very reasonable. I think it's very reasonable. Yeah, that's not needed because we randomize in the sub function. So So in general, when you are in a situation where that is pretty much across all our code, right? When we are in a situation where the data is wrong, we prefer to crash the server. If the foundational data for the game is wrong, like for example, if a quest is not loading, right, because the script is wrong, I prefer to crash the server and not allow the server to go up. So it will crash at startup and it will just say no, impossible, right? Now here is a bit different because we are not crashing a startup, we are crashing when we generate the dungeon. But let's say if we generate 3 or 4 dungeons and it never crashes, then we are good. Okay, I'm running the server now. Running the server. It's pretty cool that today is holiday. It was a nice holiday, I think. I really liked it. Because also it's in the middle of the week, right? So it's a Thursday. So tomorrow, yes, I have 1 day of work, but then it's Saturday again, so it's pretty cool. It's loading quest. We actually don't need to load quest at the moment, but fine. I think this will be the last thing and then I will go to dinner, guys. But I really want to see some monsters loaded, okay? I really would like to see some monster loaded properly. Quest, I would say false for the next run. I don't know what is this breakpoint actually. What is this breakpoint? Oh, pet manager initialize, we don't care. Low traits, we don't care. Yeah, we had a bunch of breakpoints and we don't care. Okay, so as soon as the server is up, it's taking a bit because we have all the maps at the moment for the release. And we are running debug, so debug is low as hell. We don't need that. And there was some break. Okay, so we generate the dungeon. Dungeon window. So create a dungeon. We can have 15 rooms. Now this I have to change it a bit. So let's go difficulty 7. So which is already fairly high, right? So we go 7. So now we need to see if we are getting monsters out of this. Yes, we are getting monsters out of this, which is nice. So I think I would just let it go. I will just let it go, and then we will go to the dungeon and see what happened. Right? No. Here. No, please. Here. Okay, so we generated a 7, right? We generated a 7. So in theory, in our table, difficulty 7 is this. So we are expecting in the first part of the dungeon to have a Coamti and a Trapor, right? Deeper into the dungeon, we are expecting the Muddobber Coamti and the Trapor Warrior and so on, right? Deeper, we are expecting this one, right? So this is how it works. If it works. If it works. Okay, so no NPC. Now, there is no guarantee that the NPC will be there, right? So we have this guy. This guy is a Gorwell. This guy is a Gorwell. Where is in this list? Sapling Gorwell. Adult Gorwell. Elder Gorwell. There is no base Gorwell. What are you? Because I think I said the name. I said the name manually. What is this guy? This guy is. What is the race? Do I have information on the race? Yes, it's a sapling Gorwell. Okay, so the name is whatever because we said it manually, but actually it's a sapling Gorwell, right? It's a sapling Gorwell. So we got a 6-7. Yeah, we got a 6-7 in group 3. So this means that compared to the length of our dungeon, he's considering that we are about in the middle. I mean, we didn't do a lot of rooms. We did like 2 or 3 rooms, but now the problem is if I continue, right? And there is, you see, there is the same type, which is pretty good actually. Can I open this door? No, because it's stuck. Can I, oops. Can I unstuck it? Please. Thank you. So you see, there is another guy of the same race, which it looks like the type worked. I don't know if I'm passing the type. Ouch! I don't know if I'm passing. Okay, let's go a bit deeper. Now let's go a bit deeper. I will just slide me forward 10. No monsters here. There is another monster here which is the same type, which is kind of nice. But now we are kind of deep into the... So is this guy... Is this guy an elder or is this guy... Let me see, because I think he has the same texture. It looks the same texture though. No, this guy's still a sapling. This is strange, because we went way deeper. So there is something not working because we went way deeper. And he should have selected, let me think about it, he still selected this. He still selected this. Because, okay, the difficulty is 6-7, I'm fine. But why the group, maybe the group is not working? Maybe the group, but I mean, it is working, but not perfectly, right? So it seems that this group didn't work. It seems that this group is always returning 3 for whatever reason. It's kind of strange though, huh? Okay, we can delete the dungeon and create a new one. We can dungeon delete. Easy. Easy dungeon delete. Let's do one with difficulty 4. Okay, let me see the group, right? The group is 5, 5, 4, 4, 3. Okay, yeah, it seems to be working actually. So the group is actually different. Positioning path 0. Positioning path 0. Okay, so here we crash because the group is 0 and this thing is 0. Okay, we just have to consider the case where it's 0. But so if positioning path is 0, we need to clamp group to be 1, right? So group 0 doesn't exist. So, but is this reversed? I think this is reversed. This is reversed because actually it seems that it goes down instead of going up. The path, but anyway, we got a group 4 and a group 3, so it seems to be working. But yes, it seems that it's the opposite of what. Probably because positioning path is the opposite way. Positioning path. Can I please have a description of it? Oh my god. No. Positioning path. Fuck. Bro. Positioning path is from 0 to 1, where the current level, so if I'm at 0, if I'm at 0.1, right? So if I do 0.1 divided 50, 0.1 divided, I don't know, 15 rooms, is 0.000006. Because the level, I need to know, wait, I need to load the level. Distance from the starting node is 1 at the entrance. So it's the opposite, yeah. Is 1 at the entrance. Distance from the starting node is 1 at the entrance. But is 1 at the entrance. So 1 divided by 15 is a very low number, right? 15 divided by 15 is 1. So when I am at 15, which is the end of the dungeon, I will be, so at the end of the dungeon I will be at 1, right? At the end of the dungeon I will be at 1. So at the end of the dungeon I will be at 1. So 0 is the start, 0 is the entrance, and 1 is the end of the dungeon, right? So what do I do here? I do positioning path multiplied by 5, because we said that we split it by 0.2, right? So 0.2, so if I do 0.2 by 5, it becomes 1, right? So if I'm closer to the entrance, so I'm at 0.2, this will be group 1, right? If I am at 0.4, which I'm farther from the entrance, this will be group 2. So yeah, it's correct. I think we were seeing the group decreasing because we start from the end and we go backward. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. No, it's okay. We just have to be sure that when this is 0, we default to group 1, right? So if group is 0, we default to group 1. So minimum group 1, right? Because this is why it crashed now. But yes, it seems it kind of worked. I don't know why before we got all the names, all the. Can we get the name, the proper name? I don't know why we have a wrong name. I would like to have the proper name, please. Name is the mesh name. Nah. No, the name cannot be the mesh name. The name should be. Wait. If we ask a cache manager, which is our boss, to get race info by mesh name, right? And we return this. Right? Which is a bit of a duplication in theory because we have it above already. And then we return the name. Is there also the last name or no? Get name. The name of this race. The name of this race, but is the name of this race including the last name or no? I don't know, we will see. But like this is already better, eh? So like this it will not crash, and yeah, but I think it's working. I think it is working. I have to test it more, right? I just don't know why we were getting always the same guy. You know, we got the same guy 3 times. I mean, it's true that in our current randomization, the end of the dungeon, right, is pretty much considered the same difficulty. So probably 3, 4, and 5 are pretty much the same difficulty or very close. So this can be like 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and maybe they all default, right, to the same. But it's a bit weird that we got the same monster 3 times. I mean, it was the right subgroup, right? It was the right group and it was the right subgroup, but it's a bit weird, huh? Okay, let's try again with the changes. And then I have to go dinner. It's 8:30 already. I think tonight I will not stream. I will maybe just play some games or something. It's loading. Loading, 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 loading. So the good thing of this is that the first race is selected randomly, right? So even within the same difficulty, you can actually get different monster types, right? So let me go 4 again, right? Uh-oh, we crashed. Why? Ah, fuck it. Because I have in the name... no! Oh, now it's not working because the name... yeah, because we were using the name... yeah, but that's very stupid though. Why? We use the name... choose a race. I don't understand. I mean, I understand, but I don't understand why we did it this way. So why the name is equal to the mesh name? That's so bad. They are two separate things, right? One is the name and one is the mesh name. Actually, here there is also name and last name. No, but this is not working because... nah, this is not working at all. I mean, the name will always be butchered with the... fuck. Okay, let's not fix it now because it's too long. So we'll just leave with the name being stupid, and then I will fix it later on. But definitely we need to fix the name because the name... this name, right? This name... this name is used to actually generate... it doesn't make any sense. Wait a sec. Spawn NPC, right? Spawn NPC is still on dungeon, right? It's still on dungeon. Yeah, exactly. So here we can do what we want, right? Here we can do what we want. Because we get the chosen race. That is shit, really. That is shit. Shit. No. We have to do it we have to do it... Why I used the name for the race while NPC cache definition this guy actually has the race ID, no? It doesn't? Ah, I see. Yeah, we can use this. We can use this. Exactly, we can use races. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, solved. Is absolutely solved. So, in races, we put the mesh name, right? And in the name, we put the name. Because this is actually the okay. So then inside spawn NPC, which hopefully is called only by us in this dungeon. Yeah, it's the dungeon thingy, right? So this one is called only by us, right? We get the chosen race from races, and then we get the name from name, right? So this should, in theory, this should fix it. This in theory should fix it. I don't know if I want to go dinner and come back and do more stuff, because the window of opportunity for the new release is starting to close, because today is already Thursday, right? And if you want to release, I mean, I already did the recompile, the relighting of everything. I did the relight of everything. So we have that ready. But the question is, what else we want to do before the release, right? I wanted to do this. I wanted to add this NPC stuff. And then in theory, what we said is that we wanted to have 2 quests created, right? These 2 quests created. The problem is that I'm finishing the time, because tomorrow, unfortunately, I'm not here. So, or we create this quest after the release, which is okay, because anyway, it's only database information. Or we release the maps as we go. Yeah, maybe we can release the maps as we go. I mean, all the maps are loaded in the client, but... And by the way, if you unpack, you can extract them. No! Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes. Does that bothers you that someone can just decompile our client and extract the maps? I mean, it bothers me a bit, because basically means that the player can cheat, right, and see the maps. But I mean, obviously, I mean, I don't want to send the maps server to client, right? We don't want to send any pictures server to client. Okay, it's loading, huh? It's loading. It is actually loaded. It's actually loaded. So let's do again difficulty 4. Okay, this time it didn't crash. Nice. This time it didn't crash. So we have the only problem is that it's only 10 rooms. Okay, that's fine. It's only 10 rooms. Hopefully we get some NPC. No NPC here. Let me just skip it. No NPC here. No NPC here. Wow. No NPC here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. LOL. LOL. Hello? Weaver around. Yeah, it seems that the race I did didn't work. There is a dwarf with the skin of the spider. You see? He has the skin of the spider. Holy shit. So yeah, it did not work. So basically means that... Strange though, because I set the race to be... So basically this resulted in a 0. This resulted in a 0, huh? Why? Let me delete it and redo it. Why? Oh, there was something there. There was one furniture not deleted. That's very strange. Chosen race 26. Chosen race 26. Chosen race 26. Actually, we are selecting a race which is 26 with difficulty for 26. No, wait, no, this is not the right table. It is not the right table. Wait. 26 is the Grendel. Grendel with difficulty 4 is correct or not? Grendel with difficulty 4. Grendel with difficulty 4, yes, is correct. Grendel is correct. But why we are spawning a Stonebreaker? I mean a dwarf, right? Why we are spawning a dwarf? That's kind of weird, huh? Race 26. Why are we spawning a dwarf? I mean, definitely dwarf is not race 26. That's for sure. Can I have an NPC, please? Okay, this guy is correct. This guy is actually correct. This guy is actually correct. So, I have no idea what happened. But it seems that in one of the calculations, we got kind of an empty race. And so we got a dwarf with a skin of a spider. Which is a bit weird. Yeah, you see, this guy is correct. He also has the correct name, I think. Now, I don't know why we don't get... Why we always get the same guy, though? Let me increase the difficulty and because maybe so let me put like 25 rooms, right? Well, I think that number of rooms doesn't make any difference anyway. Let me do difficulty 8, right? Difficulty 8, rooms 15, right? Chosen race 30. Chosen race 30, chosen race 32, chosen race 31, chosen race 96, chosen race 30. Okay, he's actually doing a bunch of different stuff. So, yeah. So he selected many different races, which is great. Okay. Let me see if I can use the shortcut. Wait. Slide me. Yeah, I have the slide me shortcut there actually. So he used many different races. Okay. So we have this one for difficulty 8. Yes, correct. It's this guy. Correct. And it's at the beginning, you say. So it's at the beginning of the dungeon. Is this guy. Now, he will not find this type again. So he will have to switch. He will have to switch race. Oh, fuck. I ranked up in something. I ranked up. Didn't want to rank up. Okay. We get a different guy. Tefusang, right? We got a Tefusang. I died actually, it killed me. Okay, fine. We got a Tefusang. Yes, yes, you say. Going deeper into the dungeon, we got this guy after this guy. Because remember that when we go down, we go deeper into the dungeon, right? So that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. I think it's working. Unfortunately, I died because they killed me. But we can go... Fuck. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, so this guy's good. Come on, stop hitting me. Here we get this guy. Karkaras. Yeah, but I think it's working, guys. I just don't know why we got... Karkaras. Is this a basic Karkaras? Yeah, it is a basic. So 8, 9, group 2. So we are still in group 2. I think we didn't pass in the previous type. But... Okay, and here... Ouch, I'm dying. And here we go for the Ulbernaut. Okay, which is fantastic. So it's a bit inside the wall, unfortunately, because it's so big that... But anyway, I can move slightly the... It will rotate anyway when he sees me. I'm invisible at the moment, but... So we got the Ulber at... It is wrong. No! Vile, maybe he's a vile note, but he has the wrong name. I don't know. Let me do info. Info. No, he's really an Ulbernaut. So maybe I put the numbers wrong in the database because it seems that he picked 6 instead of so group 3. He got group 3 instead of getting group 4. Ulbernaut group 3. Let me see in the database. Maybe I put the wrong number. I think I must have put the wrong number. Ulbernaut group 4. Group 4 subgroup 3. No, actually it's correct. In theory, we should not have gotten this guy. In theory, we should not have gotten this guy because this guy is in difficulty 6 and 7, right? Unless we also have the same guy in other difficulties, but it's impossible. In the other difficulty, we have the Vile Note, which is actually 14. Yeah, exactly. Wait. The mesh is the same. Okay. Yeah, that is the problem because the mesh is the same. So the mesh name is the same, but it's changing texture. And at the moment, we are not taking that into account. Okay, but it's okay. It's okay. I think we can consider it kind of done. There are 2 things to fix. The first thing is the loot, and the second thing is the texture. Because it's using... Yeah, I need to think about it, but I really need to go dinner now. It's 9, nearly 9. Okay, good, but it's kind of working. It's kind of working. If I make myself attackable, this guy will start to shoot stuff at me, to attack me, and actually he killed me. I don't know why I don't get the death animation sometimes, but fine. Yep, so yeah, it's good. It's good, guys. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Too much data, nobody does that. Hello, what happened? What happened? Hello, Hector. Thank you for the subscription on YouTube. Hello and welcome. I'm about to leave, but I will be here again Saturday afternoon around 4 p.m. We will be working on the release, and we will actually release a new version of the game. What were we saying? I think the problem for now is you haven't anybody who want to hack the game. Yeah, it's okay. Ula is right. I think focusing on improving the game, creating content is more important. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, but anyway, one guy can do it. Even if he's only one player, you know, he can still do it. Bye-bye. I would say bye-bye, and I will see you next time. Saturday. Bye. Remember, you can download our game if you want. It's on our website. The game is released. Go and try it. Bye. Pop, 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 pop. No, this is not the right music. This is the right music.